Hi, Desai from Groovy Entertainment. Today we got no book to read for you. Today, book is Thomas and the Castle from 2004. So let's get started. It was a fine fall morning on the island of Sodon, and Thomas was looking forward to pulling coaches on his branch line. But Percy was telling ghost stories. My driver saw the ghost train last night. They say it appeared to engine once in a while as a warning of trouble ahead. "Pooh," said Thomas. "Silly Percy. Really useful engine don't have time for ghost stories. I'm not scared." The next evening, Percy was coming home from the harbor. He was humming along the rail almost to Crown Farm Crossing. Little did Percy know that a cart full of flowers was stuck on the tracks at the crossing. Percy came up on the cart swiftly in the dark. He smashed into Smith in a borrowed cloud of white flour. When the dust cleared, Percy was a ghostly white. "Whoosh," he said his driver. "I'm glad no one was hurt, Percy, but you look like a ghost. Let's go get you washed down." "Let me stay this way," said Percy. "I think I know someone who deserves a good scare." On the way home, Percy came up on Toby and convinced him to help scare Thomas. Toby pulled into the yard first and told Thomas Percy had an accident. Just just then, ghostly Percy rode up, making an awful moaning and clanking sound. Thomas was so scared he hurried out of the yard. Percy and Thomas had a good laugh. No, Percy and Toby had a good laugh. "That will teach Thomas to say I'm a steady engine," said Percy with a smile. Thomas soon figured out that Percy was only fooling about being a ghost, and a couple of days later, when James came home with another scary story, Thomas thought the other engine was still playing tricks on him. "I saw spooky lights floating around Ralph Castle today, or tonight," said James. "But that castle had been abandoned for years," said Gordon. "Maybe it's a ghost, guess, Percy," said Thomas. "You won't fool me again." A week went by, and Thomas forgot about silly ghost stories until he met Bill and Ben at the crossing one morning. "Thomas, you won't believe what we saw last night," said Bill. "There were ghosts inside Ralph Castle," said Ben. "Spooky," said Bill. "Creepy," said Ben. And then, said Bill, "the signal was green when it should have been red. I almost crashed into Ben." "Spooky," said Ben. "Creepy," said Bill. Thomas thought that Bill and Ben were probably just teasing, but he was still uneasy. He asked Sir Topham Hatter for routes that would take him from Ralph Castle. As he was getting ready to take some troublesome trucks to the mine, Gordon came chugging up. "Thomas, why are you going to the mine?" asked Gordon. "Are you afraid of Ralph's Castle?" "I'm not afraid of anything," wished Thomas, and he chafed ahead. "I'll show him," said Thomas. Scary cat," sung the trucks. Thomas didn't know it, but the mine was a dangerous place. Long ago, miners had made tunnels, and some of their roofs were not strong enough to hold up an engine, even small But even one as small as Thomas. There was danger signs everywhere, but Thomas was still stung by Gordon and the tricks. And the trucks taunts him. I'm not afraid of a silly old sign, thought Thomas. To prove he wasn't afraid, Thomas bumped some old trucks, fiercely sending them right through a sign and onto a siding beyond. Thomas foolishly followed the trucks right onto the dangerous siding. Hooray, laughed Thomas. There's nothing to be scared of. Just then, the rails started to quiver. The tracks gave way, and Thomas sunk into the mine. Gordon had to be sent to pull Thomas out of the hole. Thank Gordon, said Thomas. I was just trying to prove I wasn't scared of anything. That's okay, said Gordon. I'm sorry I made fun of you. Thomas decided that being foolish was not the same as being brave. So when Sir Topham Hatter needed an engine to pull a special right to Ralph's castle, Thomas volunteered. He wanted to be a really useful engine. As Thomas started off for the castle, night was falling and the fog was rolling in. Thomas was very afraid, but he chugged on bravely. Ahead in the fog, he saw an eerie glow. It's a ghost, he thought, just like the one James saw. But as Thomas came up the hill, a brisk wind blew and the fog cleared. Thomas saw that there was no ghost at all. It's just the fog. Just a fog man with a lantern. Thomas realized that James hadn't seen a ghost after all, just a lantern in the fog. But what was the lantern doing in an abandoned castle? Although the fog had blown away, the moon was still behind the clouds. When Thomas saw something white floating up ahead, he was sure it was the ghost this time. Don't be scared. Don't be scared, he huffed to himself. Thomas chugged bravely on and realized that the floating white things was curtains. Well, burst my border, Thomas thought. Maybe the ghosts Bill and Ben saw were just curtains. What is going on here? It was all a mystery. When Thomas approached the signals near the castle, it was flashing red, then green, then red again. That's funny, said Thomas to the signal man. Bill and Ben was having problems with the same signal the other night, but Thomas wasn't scared anymore. He thought he might have an idea what was going on at the castle. He asked the signal man, Are there people moving into the castle? No, but your guess is close, said the signal man. They are restoring the castle, and electrician works as they doing here been causing my signal to go haywire. But Thomas, you better move on. They are expecting that load you're upon. When Thomas finally arrived at Ralph's castle, Sir Topham Hatter was there, getting ready for a big party to celebrate the reopening of the castle. Thomas was relieved that there was nothing to be scared of after all. He was so proud to have figured out the mystery. Thomas says, Sir Topham Hatter, you have been brave and clever. You are really a useful engine. Okay. So that was Thomas in the Casco from 2004. So if you like, subscribe, share, and comment, and have a groovy day with another video coming out real soon.